Welcome back to Stepping into Authentic Mothering Virtual Retreat. Today we have Anik Melanfant. She's a transformational guide and educator. She is amazing at having the capacity to hone in on exactly the limiting beliefs, programs, and emotions that are holding someone back from moving towards their dream life. She's a retired corporate girl who broke out of her should box, all to follow her dreams. She built an amazing heart-based business, all while being mommy and juggling family life. Today, she's going to share with us 3 mindset mistakes that are getting in our way of our dream lives. Oh, thank you for sharing these and for being a part of this amazing virtual space, Anik.
I'm so blessed and honored to have you invite me to come to this wonderful retreat. I'm so happy that you've created this sacred space for mommies like me to just give ourselves permission to be authentically who we are while juggling all of the balls, so to speak, in the air. So I'm so excited to share these top 3 mindset mistakes that we all make, and it doesn't matter from what walk of life people come from. These are the top 3 things that we do, by mistake, if you will, just social beliefs that we're carrying that really hold us back from creating and manifesting our best lives.
Oh, I'm so excited to hear 3 ways that I'm blocking my own manifesting my dream life. Please, I'm so excited.
Well, let's get you started.
And I'm excited that these are 3 things that most women, moms especially, don't think about how we're actually even blocking creating our dream life. We're so busy trying to juggle everything else to just be handed 3 ways that we can get out of our own way. I'm excited to hear about.
Perfect. So as you can imagine, in my work, I come across a lot of mindsets when it comes to manifesting. Good, honest, hardworking people doing their best and then totally blindsided by these humbling yet common social beliefs around manifesting. So let me just give you the quick and dirty on manifesting before we dive right in. Everything in the universe is energy. Everything. You are literally a walking, talking magnet. You're a beacon, and your mindset, your vibration is what attracts stuff back to you. So if we can, like tuning a guitar, if we can get you into the right tune, we can play that song, if you will, and attract that wonderful life that you deserve back to you. So quite simply, thoughts create feelings, and feelings generate a vibe, a beacon. So essentially what you attract is a combination of your conscious, which is 5% of your vibration, and your subconscious beliefs, which is like 95, right? So like attracts like. Simple. It's really, really simple. Where it gets confusing is what we're doing wrong because we think we're doing it right. So what I want to do today is help you to discover the top 3 mindset mistakes for you to avoid. And as a result, I want you to improve your manifesting abilities right now.
Yes, yes, please.
I know, I can't wait to share them with you. So the number 1 mindset mistake that I see or belief that I'll come across is, if I think good thoughts, good things will happen. Now, don't get me wrong, having a positive attitude is a great quality to have and heck of a good start. But understand that this is mostly superficial. Your real attitude towards things lies beneath the surface in your subconscious. Your combined beliefs, which is your conscious, 5%, and subconscious, 95%, is really what determines the frequency of your vibration, attracting opportunities or challenges back to you. So when you honestly look at your life and what you desire, do they match? Does your reality match what your desires are? Just think about that for a minute. Is what you want and what you desire, is what you desire and what your life looks like, are they in conjunction with each other? Do they match? And if not, That's what we're going to play with. So when you take a minute to sit back, and actually I have a really great reality worksheet that's going to go with this presentation. So feel free to print it out before and take a minute to just kind of play the pros and cons, if you will, of your life.
And Nick, I know when as a mom, oftentimes I don't even know what I want. Is there a way that we can even figure out what we desire so that we can actually make that manifest?
Yes, exactly. And one of the tools that I use with so many of my clients, which is why I created a recording for you guys, as well as a workbook that's I'm going to give away to you guys. So my high-end clients pay lots of money for this stuff. So I'm just going to hand over all the goods because I want you guys to have the most awesome life. So you'll find in my free bonuses, my dream machine meditation. And that's where I walk you through to help you to figure out what we want. Because as moms, we're so focused on what our kids needs and what our husbands needs and what our clients needs and what our house needs and what our families need. And like, where the hell are we on this list? Nowheres. Yes. So I created this dream machine meditation to give yourself some you time and really bathe in the energy of self-discovery of what your authentic desires are. Because a lot of the times that's where we get hung up.
Yeah.
So I love that you asked that. So whether you do before or after, honestly, if you do it every night before you go to bed, you're going to set your manifesting magic on fire. So I suggest that you listen to it as often as you like. I've had people just use this one tool and then get back to me, and you know that the title of the email will be, you're not going to believe what happened. And I'll be quite honest with you, I cannot tell you how many of those emails I've received over the years. It's like, you're not going to believe it. And I'm at a point where I was like, try me. So now that I want you to play this game a little bit, but when you look at what you want versus what you have, if there's a gap there, then there's also a limiting subconscious program brewing under the surface that are manifesting the challenges and obstacles that you're facing every day. So I want you to think of it this way. You are consciously thinking good thoughts with the power equivalent of a mouse, right? That's your 5% little conscious mind. But your subconscious manifestations are powered by an elephant. Wow. So who do you think is going to win? You'll often see this battle come to the surface where you'll know better, but your feeling and behaviors will tell a different story. And you likely feel that you're battling within yourself. And the truth is that you are. Someone will give you a compliment and you're like, oh, you're totally uncomfortable with whatever the compliment is. Or somebody recognizes something that you do. Or somebody asks you to do something and you're already totally overwhelmed and you say yes, but you wish you could say no. So whenever you have those little fights with yourself, it's an indication that what you think on a conscious level and what you feel and know on a subconscious level are totally out of alignment with each other. Or else you would very comfortably, with love and compassion, say, thanks for the invitation, but no, I'm not interested. Right. Often we can't give ourselves permission to do that. So essentially, if you're uncertain of where you stand, all you need to do is take an honest look at your life, and that's where lies your answer. So as I mentioned before, check out my reality check worksheet. It's to support you in getting real on your reality. So if your life is mostly good, awesome. Your subconscious and conscious are mostly in alignment, but if they're not, that's when the ride starts to get a little bumpy. So the fact is, the road to your dream life is clear. We are the ones who riddle it with potholes and obstacles in some misdirected attempt to keep ourselves safe in our comfortable and known realities.
Wow. That's such an insight when we realize that we're the only ones that are causing our own challenges. That can be kind of a hard thing to solve when we're the ones who are actually the only ones creating the blocks in our road.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
well, one of the things that I get people to look at, especially when we're kind of looking at the thing that you want to look at on a practical exercise is if you're thinking good thoughts and basically, stuff's hitting the fan, well, then we need to get a little bit deeper. And a really practical way of doing that is just becoming an observer or a witness to your internal dialogue. Because your internal dialogue, that little conversation that you have with yourself in your head, oh, that was too good of me, and oh, why did I do that? That little voice inside of our head that either builds us up or pushes us down, that is the little conversation that is giving us an indicator as to what our programs are. And not that I'm all about blaming parents, but look at your mom, look at your dad, look at your family. And a lot of the times what I see in societies is, like you have to have a positive attitude or bad things will happen. And sometimes and that's not that it's not true. It's very, very true. But the difference is where are you having that mentality, that mindset from is where it's at. Just pretending everything's going to be okay is not going to fix your problem. And that's more of an avoidance tactic than a reality check. And so that's why I kind of provide that handy little workbook. It's a quick and dirty way of you just getting a handle on, where am I getting hung up here? And then it's just a matter of identifying those subconscious beliefs, which the techniques that I use is super quick and easy. I'm the queen of quick and easy. Because I did it the long, hard, difficult way for way too long. And when it comes to quick and easy, I'm all about that.
Awesome. Well, that seems like a great way to start, seeing where we are so that we can figure out what's missing, what is not where we want to be versus where we are, so there's a clear, distinguishable pathway.
Exactly. Well, and that's where, with a lot of my clients, where I begin is, what do you want? And I cannot tell you how many people I've had sitting in my chair go totally blank and almost green because they realize they have no idea. It's been about everyone else their whole lives. And then when they actually have that opportunity and that allowance, if you will, for it to be about them, they're overwhelmed. And sometimes really in realization that, I have no idea what I want. Or when they have the light bulb come up where the fact is they can have anything they want, they're overwhelmed by the fact that anything is possible. So we do go through, as you can imagine, a number of different steps, and we work through those hand in hand as they come up. So the number 2 belief that I see that comes up often is, if I'm a good person, good things will happen to me. The overdoers, the overgivers, and the selfish, God love them. Those kind and generous souls just give, give, give. I know we have one in the room right here. Yeah. So these are all amazing qualities of character, but here's the rub. What I've discovered is that many of those loving, caring souls have this deep, dark secret. Behind closed doors, they reluctantly admit to a lack of personal fulfillment, lack of satisfaction, and lack of self-value. Now, let me be clear. Giving and being kind is awesome, and it feels so good. But what happens is it becomes their main source of value and how they validate and recognize their worth. So giving to themselves feels shameful or guilt-ridden. And saying no to others and yes to themselves feels wrong. Now, the program that is running in the background is really simple. It's, I am a good person because I do ABC for others. So now I've worked with people that have kept this up unhindered for decades. But essentially, this is the equivalent of a non-renewable energy source.
Yeah.
Right? So think petroleum. So you have to keep giving the feel good. You have to keep giving to feel good, right? So eventually they suffer, they burn out, they are resentful, they feel unappreciated, unimportant, and undervalued by those that they love the most. They look around at their lives, realizing that there is little to nothing in their lives that reflect what they want. And it's always been about other people, other people's needs and what other people need from them. So often when asked what they want, they have no clue. So what their desires and passions are completely left undiscovered. And sometimes they're in their 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s. I had a client as old as 80 who had no idea what she wanted in life. And, you know, I'm thinking, wow, like, so if you really want to, you can keep this going for quite a while if you have the energy sources to keep going. You know, their entire life had been about what others want without ever questioning what they wanted. So then after years of endless sacrifice, they wonder why their life doesn't reflect all the goodness that they've put out there, right? In fact, often when they begin to reclaim their time and energy to include some of their own wants, they are met with this objection and resistance by those who are they've selflessly given to their whole lives.
Yes.
You know, feelings of guilt and shame ensue, followed by resentment and anger, topped with the feelings of being unappreciated, unvalued, unrecognized, and unimportant. So what the heck happened there? They created this dynamic, right? A status quo for their relationships, right. And certain expectations were created based on previous experiences. So you've certainly experienced this if you've given an inch and then tried to give it back. Yeah. I know I have. So it's a really delicate balance.
What do these good, giving, hardworking moms do that's all they know how to do is please everyone else around them to the point that they are completely sucked dry themselves?
And I love that you asked that, because there's a huge difference between giving because you want to and giving because it makes you feel valuable. The latter speaks to the underlying truth that a part of you doesn't recognize your true value without needing to do something for someone first. So what I would recommend is really ease in there. Say yes to yourself every once in a while. Whenever you're asked for something, whether it's a thing for you to give your time for, ask yourself that question. Is this something that I want to do? And one of the tools that I use a lot is the yes but no answer. Is yes, I would love to do that for you, but no, it doesn't work for me right now. And so that's a really great way to ease out of that, to take that little inch back, you know, because you give an inch to take a foot, you know, which is kind of what happens. And so what I find the best way is to start to shift your mindset first about where your value lies. Because if you don't, then you'll feel shameful and guilty that you need to say no to those other people. And then you'll start to feel resentful and unappreciated because they're not taking no for an answer. So the mindset shift is kind of like the first step. But ways that you can start applying this in a practical way is just ease into it. Say yes to yourself once a day. Say yes to yourself 10 times this week. You know, go through the dream machine and start to figure out what you desire and what you want. And the more that you connect with your authentic desires, the more you know what those are. So when you're requested to do something, you'll even be aware of whether or not that's something that you want, because the automatic subconscious response is, yes, I'll do that for you because I love you and because I want your love. So then when you start to question and start to really explore what your authentic desires are, and you do that as a practical, everyday adventure in self-discovery, then you start to reclaim that power of no. Now, what I want you to remember is you're not saying no, you're saying yes to yourself.
Yeah.
And so starting just, don't pick the biggest problem that you have in your life. Pick the easiest, smallest things to start off with, and saying, yes, I'd love to do that for you right now, but it'll be in an hour instead of your usual, I'm going to drop everything and do it for you in this moment kind of thing.
I love that. That seems really easy to start doing.
So and one of the most common reasons that people overgive, and this is where the root issue is because they quantify their value based on what they can offer and give to others. And as soon as they start to pull back on giving, their perception of their value instantly begins to depreciate in value, and their external environment will reflect back to them this perspective, right? Wow. Because your external world reflects your internal world. So if you're starting to pull back and your loved ones are like, oh, well, you never do anything for me. Well, that's just them basically mirroring your vibe back to you as the guilt and the shame that you really feel inside of your saying no to them. Wow. So then what happens is when you want to do something for yourself, or you're sick, or you need to take care of your own needs, you feel bad about yourself. And then you begin to mentally depreciate in value because of the belief structure. So fixing the belief and the first thing is being aware. Right? Awareness is like 90% of the thing. So if you can just start to be aware of how you validate what your value is, and recognize that you being in a room with someone is awesome and is worth something, well, then you needing to do all of the things starts to kind of come into perspective.
I love that.
Yeah. So can you imagine, like, for fun, can you think of like, we all have like the things, you know, we tend to, as parents, we pick our battles, right? So can you imagine, or can you start to think about maybe some of the smaller things that you can start saying not right now to, with your spouse and your children, or all of the people that rely on you, right? Yeah. Not right now. Just start with that. If you can say not right now, you'll be amazed at how resourceful these people are who can't live without you. I joke you not.
Yeah, I'm doing that during this virtual retreat, which actually feels really good, because not only do I still get to continue to give, but it's something that I'm really excited and passionate about doing. So I know that I'm not going to get depleted doing this, where I'm doing this for me and saying, hold on, this is really important to mommy. Give me just a moment. We get to go out and play. Wait till we do. You know, it's like and then I'm going to be even more filled and ready to give, because I took that little bit of time to do something that was really important for me.
Exactly. I love that, because the more you give to yourself, the better quality of what you're offering to others is. It's really that simple. If you're all worn out and screwed up and unhappy, well, then the quality of what you're offering your family, your kids, and the people in your life, whether it's employment or not employment, doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
The quality of what you're offering the world is completely diminished. But if you take that time for yourself to nurture yourself, to fill yourself up, then what you offer is of such amazing quality and so worth it.
Yeah, I can see that now. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And so let me share with you the last one, so to speak, the number 3 mindset that people have. And this one it makes me almost want to tear up for people is if I'm patient and wait my turn, my dreams will come true. And we can all imagine, when you think back to your childhood, especially if you have siblings, you wanting what you want in the time frame that you want is you being selfish and taking away from your siblings somehow, right? So we create these mindsets between the age of 0 and 7, and it creates a template for what our life looks like. Now, yes, patience is a virtue. However, if you believe that there's some sort of universal ticket system, then where we all get a number and eventually yours will get called, then my friend, you are going to wait a long time.
Oh!
You know, the truth is, everything that you want that you don't already have in your life simply exists outside of your comfort zone. So you can wait and bide your time until you feel comfortably worthy of these things and release the fears around taking the next steps. Or you can just expand your comfort zone, which is, by the way, this boundary that's created by your limiting perspective, your mindset, and your fears. And when you expand that boundary or that comfort zone by shifting your perspective and releasing those fears, then it encompasses those things that you desire that are outside of your comfort zone. And I know it sounds so simple, but it is. Everything that you want that you don't already have simply lives outside of your comfort zone. And, you'll see all these people like, oh, just push through your fears. And, if you've learned anything about me by now, I'm all about the quick and easy. I'm like, screw pushing through your fears. Let's release your fears and expand your comfort zone. So that's my that's my preferred approach, is to really never mind like facing your fears head on and rah, warrior girl. Not that that's not a great approach, but it's really hard on the body. It's hard on the emotional state. It's super stressful. So for me, the work that I do, I love just releasing fears, shifting the mindset, creating a new perspective around what we're really afraid of. So then we can see the reality of whether the fear is realistic or not.
Do you have a practical way that moms at home would be able to maybe feel what it feels like to get out of that comfort zone just a little bit, or even feeling what it feels like to be in it and then stepping out of it?
Exactly. Well, the Dream Machine meditation is actually, it's kind of got like 3 different tiers of things that it helps you with. So the first thing that it's really good for is to help you to discover your desires. The second thing that it's really good for is it bathes you in what it is and what it feels like to already have that thing that you want. And so you're vibrating at the frequency of somebody who already has it. Mm. And the third thing that it helps you to overcome through the meditation is when you're living and breathing in that reality, well, then the fears that you have around achieving that or having that in your life starts to kind of melt away. Now, depending on how deep-seated your fears are, it's certainly not a one-stop shop for some people, but it's certainly a good step in the right direction. Now,
I love that. So it really is, it's this, using this meditation that you're giving everybody for free.
I know.
We're going to be able to automatically just start the process of awakening and realizing, and then just effortlessly stepping out of that comfort zone, because we're going to be so excited to get what we desire.
Yes. And your vibe is what attracts that to you. And so the more you can get in alignment and resonate at the frequency of what you desire, the less the gap between where you are and where you want to be is, because you're moving into that reality by becoming the vibration of that said reality.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. That's
You're welcome.
Easy. That's
Now, I do want to, here's a disclaimer. I'm not going to say just believe that you're a surgeon and then walk into an OR without any training. That is not what I'm saying here. There's a balance between expecting miracles and being reasonable. Often our perspective is what is truly possible is already way understated. So the universe's unlimited way of creating possibilities and opportunities well exceeds our limited human perspective of what's actually possible. So one of the other things that you can do at home is to be open and expect a miracle without getting involved with the how. So I know we're mothers, so figuring out the how is kind of like in our DNA. But when it comes to manifesting miracles, it's not your job. You desire, you get in alignment, you let go of the fear of giving yourself permission to having those things. You align with the vibe of what it is to already have that, and the universe is going to figure out the details, right? So just being in that vibration to be open to receive what you desire is a huge thing. And we think, oh, I'm open for receiving, but then you're still trying to figure out, well, first I have to do this, and then this has to happen, and then that person has to call. And so, no, you're not. You're still involved in the process. I want you to think about this. This is an analogy that a teacher of mine gave years ago, and I love it. I still use it all the time. I should almost like royalty her in on it because it was such a cool example. I want you to imagine that manifesting abundance is like ordering pizza. You just call the pizza place and you tell them what you want. You don't worry about giving them directions. You're not in the window making sure that they're going to find you. You might turn your light on outside. But at the end of the day, you're not calling them every 5 minutes to make sure they know where they're going. You go about, you set your table, right? You get organized. Your pizza is on its way. All you need to figure out is what you want on it, how you want it cooked, right? You just have to call up. So desiring is your only job when it comes to manifesting abundance. The other thing that's super helpful is upgrading your perspective and freeing yourself from the limiting fear, because then you can expand your field of vision, and then you can increase your comfort zone to include previously unattainable opportunities. So like I said before, believe me when I say you'd be surprised of what is already sitting at your doorstep if you simply shifted your perspective on what's possible. Wow. Because patiently waiting for a knock on the door is not going to earn you the right to your dreams. Opening the door will. Wow. And this is what I love to share with people is you need to be open. And sometimes we kind of aren't really sure, what does it mean to be open and receptive? You're like, oh, and gratitude is a really, really great way. So let's pretend, for example, that you don't have money to travel. I'm going to use like a very generic exercise so you guys can do this at home. So you want to travel, but you have zero money, let's say. So I want you to get excited every time you get in the car and you're like, woohoo, I'm going to the grocery store. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you can get into the I'm on a road trip kind of energy, wow. Shift your perspective that you're in the gratitude of I'm a free being out on the road, then you'll manifest more of those experiences. But if you're like, oh, the only place I ever get to go is a grocery store, well, then that vibe, you're telling the universe, me getting out of the house is bad, right? I know. And when we're envious and jealous towards other people, and this is the dark side of desire, is when we're envious and jealous of other people who have what we want, we're basically telling the universe having that is bad. And then we actually like negate our capacity to create that for ourselves, which is like, oh, don't. So, if I catch myself, because, come on, girl, we're authentic here. We all have those moments where like, oh, look at her with her skinny little legs, or look at her with her third vacation of the year. And, not that I live there, but, every once in a while I'll catch myself and I'd be like, ooh, that's envy. And then I'll work on myself. So being aware of your feelings and your internal dialogue and just being honest with yourself is a really great step in the right direction, because then you can do something about it. Because if we just ignore it and we think it's okay and it's normal to feel this way, well, then we just keep having the same day over and over and over again.
Wow. I mean, there were so many beautiful nuggets in this mini workshop of manifesting what we want. And it all is so much easier, I think, than a lot of us make it. Mm-hmm. So I am so grateful that you gave us 3 plus some other tidbits of how to really make it so that we have action steps to doing something about where we are and where we now finally have the tools to see where we even want to be. So that is fantastic.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I love about doing this work is, in short, if you don't like what you see in your life, then your conscious beliefs aren't on the up and up. And then you need to look at your subconscious programs to see which ones aren't working for you anymore. And what I love, and this is the message that I would love to share, is you are not broken. Just like any software, you need an upgrade, girl, pure and simple. So version 2.0 is just around the corner.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing these, what seem really easy to implement tools, and for blessing us with this amazing bonus for this dream machine, which I am going to click on and start listening to manifest my dream life. So thank you so much for sharing and being so generous with us with this amazing meditation and workbook.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor and a privilege to be part of this amazing event. So I thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of it.
All right, everybody. That was Anik, and she shared some amazing mindset tools with us. And stay tuned because we've got more mini workshops coming up soon.